Welcome to Sag Soul Sisters with Allie and Mags, where science meets the soul. We're two moms and wellness professionals on a mission to help you find clarity and confidence in your health journey. Every episode brings you science-backed tools for nutrition, fitness, and stress recovery, plus a dose of cosmic energy to help you align, grow, and feel unstoppable. Let's do it.
Hello.
I love that little the intro music that I had. I need to maybe find a different intro. Do you like the music that goes with
I do.
the
I think it sounds good.
Okay, I
Yeah.
will. We'll keep it for now then. Maybe one day we'll have some major celebrity make an intro song for us.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Or
We're
I'll
just gonna keep
find.
calling all this in
Yes.
because we can manifest shit.
You can manifest shit and people don't understand. I mean, a
Yeah.
lot of people do, but that is kind of what we're talking about today, right? Is how to incorporate true spirituality and not just like religious overbearing, overwhelming,
Yeah.
restrictive.
So something about me is I grew up in a very religious background, culty, actually. That it was only one way or the highway.
Yeah.
And so with that, I have not even been able to say the word God for the last years until like this last year. I finally was like, oh, you can use God as a definition for whoever this higher power universe you want to call it.
Yeah.
And it's not just one specific didn't.
Deity.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't even use words. But so often it's like this is the only way.
Yeah.
And there are so many other ways to show up in this world and to have a better understanding of a higher power that feels in alignment with you, and you get to make that choice at any time.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And I think it's just like the old way of having this very strict Western religion that you follow. And if you guys are super religious, like understand that the way that you are treating your spirituality and the way we're going to be talking about how we are or have our own spirituality and both Allie and I we're very similar, which is probably why we get along so well in terms of our spirituality, but it's not perfectly the same. Like the way I
Yeah.
approach it is a little different than the way Allie approaches it. And like she said, it's like what's in alignment for you. So that's what we're talking about today is kind of our own experiences with spirituality, how we both have been kind of on our own spiritual journey recently, um, and what it means to us. And then how, if you are interested in um, evolving your own spiritual
Path within yourself.
yes path, some suggestions that we have for you to do so.
Yeah, because so often, ooh, my voice cracking. I'm just so excited. So often, what Mads and I have even talked about previously is it seems like it's all just this woo-woo far-fetched, right? But there is actual science behind it all. And also, you can believe in a higher power and still hold it within. And there can also be evidence based within that.
Yes, 100%. um yeah, and that is very important to me. I'll get into that. So yeah, Allie, let's start with you because I think you have such a good, well-rounded base of like what the more I will call it restrictive
Yeah.
spirituality. Like, talk a little bit about your experience from, and as much as you want to, you don't have to share like what you're not comfortable with, but kind of like how your spirituality has evolved.
Yeah, for sure. So growing up, I actually grew up, well, one of my hidden things that sometimes I get a little quiet about is I was actually homeschooled and I was a missionary kid. And with that, I grew up between Taiwan and America so that we could go back and forth whenever my grandparents needed help at their orphanage in Taiwan. But I also always came back to the same house in Iowa, which someone would be like, cool, you have stability. To me, that felt like one, I was restrictive in a box and I could only believe what other told me I had to believe. And two, life was right and wrong, black and white, and you had no flexibility, no decision making that could be within alignment with you. It always just because someone else told you to do it, and that's what you had to do. You had to be respectful. You had to not talk back. You had to memorize these Bible verses. You had to go to church every Sunday. Like it was so stuck in a box that it just felt suffocating for
Right.
so long. And it actually wasn't until 2020 when COVID hit and I had an excuse to not go to church because even with my previous husbands, um, that was part of it. Like, this is what you do. This, you have to be equally yoked. And nothing was within me that was actually like I was doing it for myself.
Yeah.
And with that, it felt very one, I wasn't in control of anything. But two, you're just only going like a robot. But what other people tell you, you get to live life like. And it's this roadmap of what other people have given you. And
Mhm.
to me, that's restrictive. And with that, I mean, I literally didn't even say, like I was saying, the word God until like this last year because I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like stuck. That means I have to do A, B, and C, and D. I can't look like this. I can't dress like that. I can't go out. I can't drink a beer. I can't do this. I can't have my whiskey. Like all these I can't instead of like, hey, actually, you have limitless, infinite possibilities by just being alive in this world
Yes.
and bringing that within myself and truly believing it and unpeeling so much of the purity, the like I literally was married and divorced by 19 the first time because since I had had sex, the next thing I had to do was get married in the purity culture. And
Mhm.
so with that, I have been peeling back layers and layers of what that looks like to even know how to dress for myself with someone telling me how I can wear my clothes
Yeah.
even at 33 years old. So often I like get dressed and I'm like, oh, is this covering enough? Do I look like all these stories of what other people have said?
Right.
I get the opportunity to now release.
Right. Okay. So what role does spirituality play for you? Like why believe in anything? Why not just say, "Oh, I'm atheist now, I don't believe in anything." Like why is spirituality still important to you? What role does it play?
Yeah. So for me, it gives me a tangible, a something to hold on to,
Mhm.
but it also is a source of comfort to know I'm not alone in this big world.
Mhm.
I am connected to something that is so much bigger than myself, but also I have control too. And so to have the connection to know that I am co-creating my life instead
Mhm.
of running away from fears within,
Right.
it
Right.
gives me the comfort to know I'm not alone
Yeah.
ever.
So a sense of validation, a sense of belonging, a sense of control.
Yeah, and a sense of community.
Community. Yeah. Okay. What community have you found within it?
Yeah, that one has been this up and down journey because I feel like there's so many extremes and to know like what feels right within me. It's one of those that once I started to become confident in who I am, then it started to call in my people with my community.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm like, where do I even start? Where do I go? Like, this feels like a lot. What do you mean? Like, I don't understand. This is not something I've been around before. And being uncomfortable enough to lean into myself so then I can then connect with others from an authentic space.
Sure. Okay.
And so there's so many people, even now, like when I go to the gym, that I
Mhm.
feel like I can connect to because I can just feel their energy around them and be like, okay, you feel like a safe person to me. But
Yeah.
once I could understand the energies and how that felt, then I could start calling in my people.
100%. That has been the main goal for me. My growing up, my family, we went to church, but it was more of like a, well, you just do this thing. Like there was not a lot of connection that I felt to it. It was just this community thing that we did every Sunday. And after a while, my parents got tired of trying to get us to go get up and go on Sundays, then we just didn't go. And um, I always believed in a higher power. I was always spiritual, but I was agnostic. So I didn't have like a clear definition on what that meant for me. But I did know that the more restrictive religions did feel not in alignment with how I felt the world was, because I felt that a lot of it was made up and interpreted wrong, and just, it goes through Western religions, well, all religions, but Western religions
Yeah.
especially have this constant filter. that they're being going through, and every rendition of the Bible, and every rendition of the scriptures, and every rendition of each
Yes.
what are the um what do
Philosophies,
the
test
preachers give every Sunday? They call it something.
sermons.
Sermons, yes. Every sermon
I
is
was
the
like, which word
interpret.
are you going for?
Yes,
Yes.
every sermon is that leaders of the community's interpretation, and he's
Yes.
delivering this information through that veil of his interpretation. And I think
Yes.
that's important to hear those different interpretations. However, following it like as if the one that you hear in that moment is how it absolutely is a very scary thing, because that feels to me, for me, it's a very scary thing. That feels to me
Yeah.
very restrictive and culty, and like you're turning a blind eye to being open to truth for you specifically. Like you are accepting
Yeah. Or
someone
like
else's.
gays aren't welcome and all these things. And I'm like, excuse me. They get to choose who they want to love.
Mhm.
Excuse me.
Yeah,
Just because that's not in alignment with what you think, that doesn't mean they can't
right,
love
right.
who they feel called to love.
Well, and even, okay, even if that's not something that you believe in, if someone's like, nope, I don't, that's not right for me, that's not in alignment with who I am, okay, that's for you. And then for
Yes.
someone else, that's going to be different. Of course,
Yes.
there's all these gray areas where it's,
Yep.
certain things that are like, they go into dangerous areas, and you
Yes.
can start harming other people, but as long as it's not hurting someone else.
It's so
Um,
fear-based that you're afraid
yes,
to live.
fear-based religion scares me.
Yes, yes, like I have been paralyzed for so many years to even make a decision for myself because I thought it could be right or wrong.
Right,
Not, oh, actually, it's not right or wrong as long as it feels right to you and you're not hurting someone else.
right.
Okay,
100%.
you can get out of any situation.
Yeah. So spirituality, just I am very
That's it.
new.
What does spirituality mean to you?
Yeah, I'm very new to my interpretation of it, but at the same time, I feel like I've ramped into it so quickly and began to absorb all these sources of information that I possibly could to help me give a definition to my spirituality, because it plays such an important role in my life. When I started discovering that there was a difference between um doing what felt right and in alignment, so what my intuition said was correct, versus doing what I felt pushed into doing because everyone else said it was correct. And there was a level of discomfort in there. So there was a discomfort when I would do things like something didn't feel right, a misalignment, when
Yeah.
I would do things that I didn't feel were right for me, but everybody was like, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do that if you want to succeed. And I'm like, oh, this is just the challenge that I got to face. I got to do this hard thing that it doesn't feel right,
Yes.
but it doesn't feel right because, it's just what you have to do. No, it didn't feel right because it wasn't in alignment. And when I started to lean into my intuition and saying, okay, this feels right because it is in alignment, and I start seeing doors open up and things fall into place, and those weird, like, signs and symbols and things that you're just like, there's
Synchronicities and angel numbers of like
yes,
knowing you're so protected is so
coincidences,
true.
yes.
Yes.
And it starts to fall into place, and you're like, oh, I'm on to something. So I started to look into that and say, okay, what does this mean? Because it's so weird to start seeing those synchronicities and those alignments, numbers that start appearing over and over again, and people that start coming into your world that you're like, how did we run into each other? Like, there's no way. And I wish, oh, I should have written down some. If I think of a specific scenario, I'll let you know, because I should have written those all down beforehand. But like, time and time again, I would run into the right person at the right time for the right reason that was so perfect that it was just like, there's something bigger. There's something bigger pulling this all together. and beginning
Wait,
to,
I'd even say us coming together right now to even say
yeah,
yes to the podcast now.
yeah,
We both have plenty of things that we could have said, nope, that doesn't work. But it felt so right to use this space as a place to come together and connect and bring others together on our journey with us.
right,
That it's not something either one of us would be like, yeah, now's a great time. We're in school. We're in the middle of different transitions in life.
yeah,
We're in the middle of moving. Like, let's add this in.
yeah,
It felt so right to be like, actually, this is like, almost like a journey, a journal of our journeys together and
hmm,
on our own separate journeys by having this space.
yes. It kind of shows how we were totally separate and then began to align into a point
Yeah.
where now my one of my best friends was, I think I already told you, is called you my clone. She's like, how'd you find your clone in in
Yeah.
Minnesota when I'm down here in Florida? And it's because we started to align our goals, our passions, and to the point where we're just like, oh, hey, we are the right person for each other in this capacity in this moment.
Yeah.
And you begin to see that across your life. And that's not, um, that doesn't seem like chaos, randomness. That is things coming into alignment. So the more I started looking into it, the more I started to hear about, well, not hear about, you kind of always knew, like every time I would discover something new about my spirituality and what I believe in, it wasn't like a, oh my gosh, this is a new thing I'm learning. It was almost like a validation of what I already knew within. Did that make
Yeah.
that?
It's like an unmask of the becoming of yourself because you
Yes.
always had it, but it's the
Yes.
confirmation and it'll like,
Yes.
because from the time you're 0 to 7,
Yeah.
that is like your biggest absorption, right? And so
Mhm.
so often because of that time frame, that's where all these stories are coming built on who we are.
Right.
And so with that, once you start to peel off those layers of what everybody else wanted you to become and you just truly are feeling it within, it's like you remove this mask that you feel so alive within your own skin.
Right. Yeah. And that's like a, it's not an Oprah Winfrey quote, but it's something that Oprah Winfrey quoted for David Thurman. Anyway, it's on my Facebook, but it's just like, um,
She's really on your mind today.
yeah, she is. I brought her up before we went on video that I brought Oprah Winfrey up a minute ago. But she's like, what we need in this world is more people that come alive, that find their purpose, that find their um, alignment in their life and begin to have this inner, your soul comes alive. Like you just
Yes.
begin to find everything starts falling in place and life begins to feel easy. Even I'm going through a lot of crap right now, a lot of really crazy shiitake. And
Yeah.
and this spirituality, it just feels so like, no, it's easy. Like I
I
just
love that you still spell it shiitake. As I'm like dropping the F
going
bomb
through a
left
lot of
and
shit. Sorry, shiitake is my word for when my kids are around. So, but even in all the, that's in like in all the turmoil, I still have this anchor, this foundation. And so many people use religion for that. But
Mhm.
I feel like some feel restricted by it because it doesn't align with them and they don't know how to manipulate or how to begin to discover the right spirituality for them.
Yeah.
So, this is just
Love that.
our specific story of how we come about it, but that's where that initial interest came in is like I started feeling the benefits of following my own intuition and I was trying to figure out why things were coming together so cleanly and beautifully, like almost like art. And I was like, what is happening? So I was
So
like, there's
beautiful.
something more to this world. Like this isn't just randomness. Like this is alignment. And what does that mean and what does that look like and how can I perpetuate it? Like how can I lean into this and like I want more, I want more.
Yes, I love that so much. Like it's lighting me up the feeling of what I feel in my own body as you're speaking to, of being like, yeah, that makes sense. Like even on the days that are pretty darn tricky, there's a lot going on with both of us right now. But if you will just sit down and literally, like in my notes app on my phone, I just write down my glimmers of things that have happened
Yes.
in that day, of just moments of being like, the fact that this worked out in this way, you couldn't have prepared for that. But boy, am I grateful.
Yeah.
And showing the gratitude within each thing that's unfolding for you. Like
Mhm.
you are perfect art in this world
Yeah.
to be showing up in the way that you are.
Yes.
and like holding space for the becoming, but the unmasking and also the beauty that it holds
Yeah.
and the light and the darkness. Like your shadows aren't as, yes, they're freaking scary, but it also is like you find so much light once you peek through those shadows.
Balance. It's
Yes.
knowing that you can't see those glimmers without recognizing the struggle that you need to get through to have that be in your life at all. And so then the struggle doesn't become like, oh, what's happening to me? It becomes like, okay, what is this this challenge, this beautiful learning opportunity that you have? And I think that is the biggest basis of my spirituality is the I am a natural optimist. Like I see positivity in everything. Um, it was kind of my
Yeah.
superpower for a long time. And now I'm just leveraging it in a way that um, is helping the way that I perceive the world become my reality. It's now not a negative world. It's now always a perpetually positive world because that's how I
Yeah.
choose to view it. And it's something that for me, it's been something that I need to train my brain to do. And I would say is scientifically, like, there's a lot of science around that, that you kind of need to train yourself to become, to see that positivity. But the more you do it, the easier it is.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
becomes your fluent language instead of something that feels foreign and disjointed. Like you just become more fluent in that positive mindset.
Yeah, for sure. So I typically do this for myself, and I've actually never said this out loud. I don't think, besides to my sister, but every once in a while I like pull affirmation cards or like what that looks like. Like these
Yeah.
ones are actually the Rose Oracle, which I don't usually like pull cards for. I've never pulled cards for other people, actually. But this just literally was sitting next to me, and as you were speaking, I just like was like, just show me a confirmation of what we're doing right now. Do you mind if I read this quick one?
Please.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, I've never really like done this out
Well,
loud.
here's
So
an
here we go.
example of something coming in alignment. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So the card that I pulled, I was just sitting there like shuffling as we were talking, and it says rose without thorns, joy, peace, and sweetness of life. Look how
Yes.
beautiful this card is. Do you see
Oh,
that?
that's gorgeous. Yeah.
So it says most roses have thorns that protect the plant. When you walk the path, it's so easy to get caught on their spiky stems, as if the thorn themselves are initiation for the observer to get through breathtaking beauty and scent of the queen of all flowers in bloom. However, there's a small number of roses that are unlike most, possessing few or no thorns, and that's what this card is all about. The rose without thorns is an invitation to dive straight into the sweetness of your life, to rest into the softness, to enjoy the delicious fragrance, to rest in and relish what it means to be currently alive in this body, to embrace all the beauty and bliss that life has to offer. You have a right to your joy, and the rose without thorns wants you to take every ounce of it in right now, to celebrate and lose yourself in the sweetness of your life. This is a rare moment in time, deep peace and enjoyment. You're being called to taste all that it has to offer, to drink it all in. You deserve every drop. You've worked for this moment. Embrace it now with open arms. It's safe for you to enjoy this, to welcome this, to embody all that this is. And while life is ever changing and forever inviting us to grow, right now your lesson is to be in the delight of it all.
Oh,
So the rose transmission, I have a right to my joy. I appreciate and drink in my sweet nectar of life.
yes. Yes. Oh,
It's like
I
I've
love that.
never like put this out. Like I'll do intentions for myself, but I've never like said it out loud. But as I literally was like, I don't know, I just want like one to hold us as we're talking about this. And that instantly was like, just relish in where you're at. It may
Perfect.
feel like there's a lot of turmoil, but yet there's still so much sweetness with it.
There really, really, really is. And I think that's such a beautiful reminder that so many of us feel unworthy when we're given good things, especially with today's climate. Like
Yes.
everything's so negative and there's so much need out there. There's so much pain. There's so much sadness and things that are unfair that are happening in across the world. And so when we feel personal joy in our lives that are relatively safe, secure, beautiful compared to many other people, it feels unworthy. We feel like, oh, we don't deserve this. Like we already have it so good. And now we're being given this gift. Like we feel guilty and we want to remember everybody that's going through pain. So then we think of everybody else's pain and how we're not worthy. Stop it. Like
Yes. You are worthy simply by existing
we're
in the
worthy.
breath that you breathe.
Yes, 100%. And you focusing in on, I mean, it's good to be aware of the needs of others, but to throw yourself into that pain and absorb it as your own, as almost like a punishment for being blessed with the life that you've been given, doesn't serve anybody accept the pain. And
Yeah.
so you can be aware, but don't let yourself be pulled into it and become a part of it, because then
Yeah.
you're only building that pain. You're ruining the honeymoon.
You're
Um,
alchemizing
to
the
go
pain
back to the
instead of
K-pop
holding
tuners.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Don't
So you
give your soul
alchemize
to the
that pain
demons.
instead of alchemize the peace within.
Yes. Yeah. And I think that's so,
Now I'm gonna think of K-pop.
yeah. Support the honeymoon. And for me, that I was telling Allie before we started that for me, my spirituality, it was so, I have two um, science educated parents. I was an engineer for a long time. It's so important to me that I have science basis in my spirituality. I need that foundation, I need that solidity. Otherwise, I feel like I'm following a made up thing. But if I can rationalize, like, okay, no, this is based in truth, this is based in fact, it's not just me grasping at non-existing things, putting my support in a, the snake oil.
Yeah.
I am putting my foundation on science with the connection to spirituality and the metaphysics that comes with that kind of new practice. Um,
Yes. I love that.
yeah, and it's so important for me for that, so that I can rationalize some of the seemingly silly things that I feel like I'm doing these days, like breathing into the energy and seeing all the synchronicities in my world, instead of it being like, oh, it's just a coincidence. No,
Yeah.
it's
Or
synchronicity.
even how we talked about dancing a little bit earlier on
Yeah,
the last episode, like you really can connect within when you dance and what you can release, but also feel through it. Like the music really does tap into something else.
100%. Yeah, it really does. It's energy. You're channeling energy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I share a book
Mm.
I read recently
Yeah.
that I'm obsessed with?
Please do.
Okay.
Please do.
So this was recommended to me. I can't even remember by who at this point, but the Tao of Physics. I don't know if it's backwards in the video, but it's called Tao of Physics by I've never had to say the author's name out loud. Fritjof Capra, who is a physicist who
Ooh, I
started
need
to be
that.
interested in Eastern philosophies and Eastern religions, Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, Confucius, and the connection to modern physics. So, as a physicist, he went through the same process that I had to go through to reconcile the metaphysics with the actual like the science physics, which I'm sure has a different name. But
I'm obsessed with this. Will you send that to me?
my
Or
gosh, I'm obsessed with this book. And what it does is it shows the very clear connections between Eastern religions and Eastern philosophies. Um, and he goes into why the Western religions still have some connection, of course, because a lot of those are based in the much older Eastern religions and Eastern philosophies. Um, but they've been not contaminated, but what's a good word?
flip the flesh out.
Convoluted a little
There we
bit
go.
into things that begin to pull away from the basis. And can I dive into this just a little bit? Because I think this is the coolest.
Please do.
So, um, oh my gosh, come on, Mags. There's a oh, I might have to cut some of this out because I gotta remember. So there
Look at
is,
your pants.
I'm like, think. So the the philosopher that said, I think, therefore I am. And I am completely blanking. Descartes. Oh my gosh. Cartesian philosophy. Descartes said, I think, therefore I am. And he is one of the first divergent from the Eastern philosophies. Because of that statement, it became these Western philosophies that began to um, categorize things in order to understand the world around us and begin to put things in buckets and in categories. And you are you, and I am me, and this is a tree, and that is a dog, and these are those people, and these are our people, and began to separate the I am from the we are, the all of this is
Oh,
together.
interesting. We are the earth. Yeah.
Yes. So
Fascinating.
Descartes started from there. And from there, a lot of the Western religions developed, Greece, etc., that began to put things in categories and separate us and make us all different. And
Fascinating.
then we are trained not only through our culture and our society and the people around us, but even evolutionarily, like, everything that your parents learned, grandparents learned, begins to begin to be genetically transferred to the way that
Yeah,
we.
did you guys know that we hold 7 generations back within our body?
Yes.
You like
Oh my gosh, we could go on a whole thing about that. Yes. So
I'm
cool.
just saying. So with that, like how we're saying you put all of this in, like you literally carry 7 generations within.
Yeah.
And so when
All
I
those
brought up a
thoughts.
couple episodes again, like we're holding hands with your grandmothers, like, and then women after us, like you truly are like all
Mhm.
connected through it
Yeah.
all.
Yeah. Well, and so that's the idea that modern physics is beginning to bring back into proven um situations. And it goes for, so there's Darwin, not Darwin, sorry, that's evolution. Uh Newton. Stuttering, I'm getting so excited. Newtonian physics, which is like the
They're my
physics that
favorite
most
when you
of
get
us
so excited.
is the physics that most of us understand, like there is gravity, there's friction, there's, this, there's that. But then you have your relativistic physics, so which is your, Einstein physics, E equals mc squared, time, the space-time continuum, they get into this, how space-time doesn't like, it exists, but it doesn't, there's no like future, past, and present. It's all happening right now. And then into quantum physics, which is the most interesting thing because it essentially says that every atom is in a state of infinite possibility until it is observed. So the energies, the things that we see around us are only in existence in our brain on how we observe it. And it does,
Ugh.
which means that each of us has a infinite potential of possibilities. And it's only until we observe and manifest those possibilities that they become reality. And so what I love about that is it gives a sense of much more both control and no control at the same time.
Surrender without knowing.
Yes. And in fact, I have a tattoo that I'll talk about that is related to this. So, this idea that there's an infinite possibility and the entire world is within our own mind. Like it's not out there separate from us. Matter is not separate from us. This lamp is as part of me as you are a part of me is a part of me. Like it's just, we tend
Ugh.
to see the same things because we're all humans trained
Yeah.
and built in this world by
As a robot.
higher power it is, yeah, to
Mhm.
absorb things very similarly, but at the same time also very different. Anyway,
I'm
so
obsessed with this. So I have I guess I do draw cards more than I realize it, but the other ones are affirmation cards. And
yeah,
it says, each moment holds immeasurable, limitless opportunities.
yes, yeah,
I
yeah,
actually just pulled that. Well, in the middle of the night when I wasn't sleeping last night, I pulled that card and I was like, okay, so there's a reason I'm awake right now. I don't know why, but
yeah.
it holds limitless opportunities right now for me.
So if you're constantly seeing things in a negative light, things will constantly manifest in negative ways. If you
Yes.
constantly see things in a positive light, it will
There is so much beauty around, even when it feels
yeah,
like you are being sucked into the
yes.
negative.
And you make your reality so you can see the beauty. And it isn't delusional. I mean, as long as, I mean, it's got to be done in a aware way where you're being very mindful with it. So it's not verging on delusion, like, oh, I'm the best and I see myself as the best and, F everybody else. Well, then you're just turning into a
That's
narcissistic
not supportive of others
asshole.
either. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but understanding that you can shape your reality. You have full control over it. And
Mhm.
let's not like minimize the flippin' size of the universe is ridiculous. There are
Yes.
more stars in the sky that have planets around them, more stars in the sky than there are grains of sand on the planet. Like
God.
quadrillions, like so many.
You're like, can we just talk about that for a moment?
Oh
Like,
my gosh,
what?
sit in that. That's the sheer vastness. So
I just love
the
to lay under the stars.
the chance that you are a collection of energy, like we're not matter. I mean, we're matter, but we're energy. Energy and matter are the same thing. We're a collection of energy placed on planet Earth to be able to feel an infinite number of emotions, an infinite number of interactions, an infinite number of possibilities for what is relatively a blip in time. But time space doesn't matter, so it kind of doesn't matter. You can be as long as you want, it can be as short as you want. It's
Yeah.
insane. So it's just so beautiful. And that's all relating back to Taoism and Buddhism and Hermetic philosophy and Hinduism, where they talk about getting into meditative states and beginning to um, see the world where there is no space, there's no time, there's no matter. It just is all one beautifully interconnected thing with infinite possibility and timeless infinite possibility. That's all based in modern physics. Like that is proven
So
modern
add that to my
physics.
Audible right now.
It's amazing. So that's my thing about that. But
I'm just adding it right now so that I
yeah.
get it started today.
So it's
There,
all mental. All is mental. Like that is all is mental and mental is everything. And so it's the more I learn about modern science and really begin to absorb it and understand it, the more I what's happening?
what was that?
Allie's looking out
Hummingbird
the
that
window.
just came to the window. So I like turned around because I could hear its little buzzing, and then
Yeah,
all of a sudden a bunny just like runs up and chased it all away. And I was like, "What?
that's
What
adorable.
just happened?"
There we go.
Anyways,
The
what?
universe saying hello.
Yeah, it's just a little like your life's about to glow up. Sit
Yeah.
in that.
Oh
Love
my
this.
gosh.
Love hummingbirds.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So, I mean, so the thing is, it's all in your head. It's all in your head. So
yeah,
begin to train your brain because we do have safety features in our brain, our hormones, things like that that are, you know, not artificially. It's like,
that 3D world.
yeah, it's just, you're manifesting things. And so don't let the bad energies in. Keep the bad energies out.
Yeah, it's okay to shake it off. So something with that, I mean, I don't even know if we're at this point, but I'm gonna letting the bad energies go. Something I personally, there's a meditation I like to do for this on cord cutting. I've done it now a couple times in this last month, and it is fascinating to me watching when I'm doing these cord cuttings
Mhm.
and then these people that I'm trying to release, like, come back in the weirdest way. I'm like, no, 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 no. I said no, thank you, actually. But they'll just like message me, and I'm like, how'd you even know? I was like working through getting you out of my life.
Yeah.
But what I like to do, so this one specifically talks about like it's in your right hand and it's in your left hand and releasing them from your hands and letting it go. It's like a 10-minute meditation on letting it all out of your body and whether
Yeah.
you want to write it out. One way I also like to do it, we were talking a little bit earlier, is having a black candle and I write who I want to release or what I want to release, like money scarcity. I don't need to
Mhm.
carry that on. Just because my ancestors were afraid of money, I know that I can create so much beauty in this world
Mhm.
when I have money that I can give back in a way to change this world in a new way.
Mhm.
Money is not something that needs to be scarce. So whether I do scarcity of money is just like saying a scarcity of time, honestly. Like we create it to be this tangible thing, but really it's also an energy, right? And so like whatever you want to release, I put it on a black candle.
Mhm.
And then I'm on the white candle and I tie them together.
Mhm.
And then I release them and I
Yeah.
cut that cord. And then I say,
Yes.
this is no longer for me. This is what I'm willing to hold.
Yeah.
And just having the representation of what that is and being like, this is no longer for me.
Yes.
I don't need to carry this anymore. My shoulders are heavy. I surrender this because this is not something I have to carry anymore.
Like
And what
making
that looks like.
space for
Yes,
it.
it's creating space, time and space that we
Right.
talked
You're
about.
releasing this thing that was holding space in your energies, in your mental
Yeah,
capacity.
and your
Like,
brain, like
yeah.
because your brain sticks with what it knows, right? We talked
Right.
about that before. And so if you're like holding these stories of the past of what you know, they're probably going to be replaying in different
Yeah.
scenarios. Something I haven't brought up, I don't think before, is I miscarried on the same day, 12 days later with both of my ex-husbands. Um, I don't know if I've ever really even said that out loud to too many people, but on April 19th, 12 years different.
Yeah.
And so
12
that
years.
was like a fear that I carried within
Yeah.
that it repeated. It was a similar scenario of how things all played out. And I'm like, that is a shout out to me to be like, no, thank you. I can create something new within this. This was a fear of what I've been carrying for too long. And that is not who I'm calling into this world to be a part of. Even with a significant other, like I am not ever calling in the way that I was ever treated before.
Right.
That is not who I am. I know my worth to be calling in someone else who's coming towards me.
Right. Right.
That won't
100%.
be in my energy field ever again.
Yes. You don't let those energies in just the same way as you want to release the energies of what you want to attract. You also want to block the energies of what you don't want to attract and don't let them into your world because then they'll just attract more.
Yes, and that's a no, thank you.
That's a no, thank
I
you.
say
Yeah.
more of this, please. When I like
Yeah.
what feels good to me, I say more of this, please.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for this. And if there's a situation I don't like, I say less of that, please. You can have it.
Yes. Awesome. So you had talked about the releasing. What are some other, and the mindful or the meditation, what are some other ways that you would suggest women get into building a healthy, aligned spirituality?
Yeah. So I personally, I'm a big journaler with
Yeah.
this, but finding the strength within myself to like see what I've made it through every single time.
Yeah.
Um, but so often people are like, only write out like what you're trying to get rid of, right? Like people are like, this was a hard day. This is what I'm journaling. So I'm not like vomit talking on other people. Write
Mhm.
in the beautiful things that occur. That's where I
Right.
brought up
Like
earlier,
grateful,
like the
gratefulness.
glimmers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like write the gratitudes each morning. If you write 5 things you're grateful for that day, sit down with your kids at the dinner table and navigate with them. Like I always
Teach
say,
them
like,
positive talk.
yes,
Don't
yeah, like
let them complain all things. Let's like when they're like complain, complain, complain. Let's talk about what made us happy today. Like what's yeah.
yeah,
What
like
brought
I am
light into our
grateful
world?
you feel safe enough to talk to me about those things.
Yeah.
Now that we've processed them, what also would you like to talk about? What lit you up today? And we always talk
Yes.
about those too. So we just talk about how that felt. Like if they're frustrated, sure, that matters. Let's talk about it. And then we're also going to flip the switch and we're going to see what's in that feels better
You're
and just different things. And another there, even as simple, like for me to start to build the trust within myself, I literally
Mhm.
start taking myself on dates and different things. So I'm building the trust within myself of things I know I like that no one on the outside's telling me,
Yeah.
but I know that these things light me up.
Yeah.
Or I'll like plan, I'll be like, this is going to be my next date. And I literally like plan out my own dates and
Yeah.
different things that I'm building the strength within myself to know that these things matter for me.
You can
Uh,
count on yourself.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Or I know that like I personally love yoga. I
Mhm.
don't always do, let's be real, I don't do like just sit there still yoga very often.
Mhm.
Like I am vinyasa, I'm not, that's not my favorite. I like flow where I get to do movements through it or hot or different things.
Yeah.
Because for me, I like to flow through my body.
Yeah.
Lots of people like just the calm, let me listen to others. Well, listen to what my body's saying.
Yeah.
I will do that. I do short stints when I'm listening to myself. I'm like,
I guess
because
the
I
ADD. Like,
yes. Yeah, there's that.
yeah.
There's that. Or even if I like set a timer and be like, in this moment, nothing else matters but right here where I am in this
Yeah.
space and time. And just taking the time for that. And if you have to put it in as you're starting to trust yourself and realize the world will not fall apart if you're slowing down for you, then
Mhm.
you start to build your muscles within the spirituality and the strength of it all.
Yes, absolutely. It's kind of that mind-body connection that you
Yeah.
begin to make when you are feeling that kinesthetic awareness. I mean, yeah, even yeah, like so there is a hermetic philosophy is as without, so within, as above, so below. It's a like everything's interconnected. The world that you build within you, both health-wise, uh, physically and mentally, is also the world that begins to manifest around you. So
Yes.
focusing on your health, which is what we're trying to help you do, for those that listening, it will begin to make the world around you better. They are intimately connected. So when you
Yes.
improve yourself, the
Gosh,
world
yes.
around you improves. And
Yes.
that is, I think people, again, it's this idea that things are so separate. Like what you do for yourself will not have an impact on anybody, anything beyond maybe, giving you more energy for your kids. No, 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 no. That it manifests in generational benefits as well to your children.
Yeah, I know, like, in this situation for me, like how we're talking about that is that's where religion for me was like so sticky because you're always pouring into other people. Cool, love up on others, but also like you're not supposed to be left in the dust in
Right.
order to be bending backwards for
You don't need to
others.
be a
And I was like,
martyr. Stop the martyrdom.
no, stop being a martyr and a victim to your circumstances because you are never stuck.
Mm-mm,
Never.
mm-mm.
You're not alone and you're not stuck. So figure it out.
Yeah.
You have support all around you, no matter if you see it in your tangible world or not. You are supported.
Yes.
Lean into it. You are not
Yes.
alone.
Yes. Yeah. There's a lot of victim mentality that I don't agree with. I mean, um, sitting in the feels around something that feels unfair is okay. It's all right to be like, oh, really sucks that happened. Like you can acknowledge, you don't have to be like, oh, it's really okay, everything's fine, everything's fine. Like we don't have to do that. But understand, like begin to layer in, okay, what did we learn from the process? What has made us stronger in this? And see
Yeah.
not failures, but lessons. No failures. Failures do not exist. It
They're
is
called
only lessons.
detours for a reason.
Right. Right. Oh, and
I
my
can,
tattoo. So I have this tattoo on my leg and it says, calm and peaceful shall I sleep in the cradle of the deep. And
ooh,
I
I
know
love
that
this.
sounds really morbid because it sounds like,
I
okay,
kind
I'm
of love it.
gonna sleep at the bottom of the ocean. But what it actually means, it was a poem or song actually written, called Cradle of the Deep, by a woman before women's education was a big thing. She actually founded the first women's university in the
Wow.
US. And she was on a boat back from Europe when she wrote this song. And the idea was is that you have this energy, this cradle of life, of interconnectedness that is holding you. And you got to trust that you're going to flow and ebb and flow with it. And everything that happens in the uncontrolled energies around you um, is a reason to stay calm. It's almost like a parent is there rocking you in their cradle. And even though it's
That's
like
beautiful.
it's bumpy, it still is, you can have faith that everything, I do believe everything happens for a reason, and
Mhm.
it is within our control to shift how our world evolves through those reasons and how it manifests. Like I do believe that everything is going to happen one way or another, but how we observe it and how we see it and how we react to it can be completely different.
Astronomically just different. Mhm.
And so it's just this having faith that there's everything's interconnected, everything's holding you. It's the space, the world, the universe has space for you in it.
Yeah. God, right there. Yep.
Oh, uh,
I don't know where God just came out of my mouth, but it's like, yeah, right there, you are
yes,
being held within it.
yes,
We can hold space for you too, but it's like the world has already got you.
yeah. Not just the world, the universe, this endless, infinite thing. It's just so beautiful.
Yeah.
And it can make us feel both very small and inconsequential, but the chances that you exist right now in this moment are astronomically small.
That
That
is a miracle in itself
that's
that
such
you are
a
here right
freaking
now.
miracle. And there is no random ridiculousness to it. It is by design. So
Yes.
we don't all know what that design is, but you can have faith that it exists. And that's what I'm leaning my faith into.
You have no human design at all, dude.
Human
Have you,
design?
yeah, human design.
Like,
Have you heard of it? Like I'm a manifesting generator, which means like I'm a big dreamer, but I also bring that all. When I manifest something, it like comes in because it's so deep within who I am. It's like your Enneagram, Enneagrams.
okay.
Uh, right? Enneagram. Like,
And,
whenever you do
and
tests to
you-
see like,
yeah,
yes,
like the 1 through 9 thing.
yep.
And
It's similar to that to see like when you're born, what's like in your star chart of who you are.
yes.
And there's 5 different designs.
Oh, I love that. You're gonna have
There's
to send that to me. I don't think I've done that one. I've done Enneagram and I've done, of course, my Zodiac and then the Myers-Briggs and all those
It's like
personality.
a mix of all those intertwined.
Okay,
It's
cool.
really beautiful.
All right.
But the amount of like even things like that it pinpoints for who I am and how I show up and how I think and how my children think, because you can put their birthdays in there and stuff and see how they like it even shows on there like how you react to situations, which is
Yeah.
helpful. Like when you're feeling this, it's because this doesn't feel in alignment within you. And it's so interesting, like the push and pull of what this is. It's called
Yes.
the human design, but whenever you said your design, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's right there. That like ties it all in right together.
Love that. I love that. And that actually goes to a key point too, how I think is a good way to get to for people to begin to understand the right spirituality for them is to stop taking all the outside opinions on it and
Yes.
actually begin to take a look at things that have been around for thousands of years, like your star charts. I know it feels so like woo woo, but just read it. And if it doesn't feel like you and you don't connect with it, that's fine. But
You
begin.
get to say no at any time.
Yes, you can say no at any time. There's no rule around it. Um, Obviously, Allie and I feel very like we feel like we are Sagittarius, and to an extent, like, is it a rule? No, but is it a tool to help guide you on what might be more of alignment for you? Absolutely.
Yeah.
You can do that with that. You can do with the more modern things like the Myers-Briggs and your Enneagram. Just do all of them. Take all the free tests online and begin to
So
learn
fun.
about yourself and what is true for you. Because the
Yeah.
more you understand yourself, the better you can take that, as above, as below, as above, so below, as within, so without. Like you can begin to understand who you are and why your world around you is manifesting in the way that it is, because it's part
Yeah.
of who you are. So that's where I started, was just learning as much about myself as I possibly could and then learning about the people closest to me and why they're in my life and how they think and how our relationships um, have evolved because of who we are to our core. Um, and just getting kind of all that figured out. And that's helped me grow from there.
Yeah. And it's so empowering, I feel like, just to
Mhm.
like see those things on paper. It's like, oh, this does make sense. And it is like so often they are pretty on point to who you are.
Yeah.
Like, and just to like see that is like, oh, okay, that's helpful.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of that, but I will say it did surprise me. Like mine was like, oh yeah, this makes sense. But when I put my kids' in there, it was so helpful for like even how they want to be held whenever they're feeling like not abandonment, but when they're feeling not connected with, it will
Mhm.
tell you like how to connect on their level.
Yeah.
And for me as a mom, like I can say I think I know these things, but it was like an instant switch when I started to see that.
Yeah.
And that was really beautiful to just be like, yeah, it's right here.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
feels right
They're their own individuals and not,
on their
we're
own
not,
soul
they
journey
are
too.
them, we are we, but
Yeah,
we're all interconnected, right? And
yeah,
so but they are manifesting and creating their own realities their own way by what's within them.
yeah.
And that is not always the same as what's within you. And so by
Yeah.
understanding how they see their reality and not pushing your reality on them and saying, this is how you have to feel, and this is how you have to think, and this is how you have to cope, like understanding how they naturally cope, I think which may be different than you, is such an important thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, helps you um, smooth your path through your world.
Yeah. Yeah, to hold space for it, especially when that's not necessarily how you think, right? And so you just like take care of a situation how you would reparent yourself, and they don't need that. They need something different from you.
Absolutely. So yeah,
Yeah.
spirituality is just another lens of which to look at through our life, along with science. Like we are very science-based girls. Like we love our science, um,
Yeah.
and spirituality is the metaphysics stuff is kind of something that is, I think, becoming more popular as people understand that it does have,
With the awakening of it all, people are
yeah,
understanding.
yeah,
Yeah.
people are becoming more awakened in what that means for them and seeing it not as um, religion as it has been traditionally understood, but
Yeah.
understanding of how we connect to our inner self and also the world around us.
Yeah, especially how we have been talking so much about actually listening to your intuition. It's just another way to cultivate that within.
Yeah. Like Allie said, you have 7 generations within you. Your gut bacteria not only comes from those generations, but also is from your environment around you. And that gut bacteria has memory in it. Water has memory in it. That's been scientifically proven. So when you, with what you're putting in your body, with what you have within your gut, um, the information's there. You just have to be open to hearing it and listening to yourself. And that brings me to like the last thing that I would recommend is just begin with mindfulness, because not only is that going to help you with your health journey, just being aware of what are you eating, what are you exposing yourself to, who do you have around you. Um, but even like you can start training your brain to do that by going outside and in the quiet, not listening to a podcast, not trying to wrangle your dog or your kids, but in the quiet presence of nature. Begin to listen to the things around you, begin to listen to your body and your breath. It's a good first step of meditation. If you can't sit still and quiet and do that, it's a
And
good
then I
first
start
step.
to choke again.
Yeah. So, those are some things that you can begin to do to quiet the noise that is keeping you from finding what is the alignment in alignment for you. Oh, oh my gosh, I could.
Yeah, and where we talked about the mindfulness, my last thing on that is the way that you speak to yourself.
Yeah,
It really matters. And so often we're like, oh, we got to do this, we got to do that. And we're looking at these outside pictures of what everybody's looking like when we are doing our on our health journey and so forth. And it truly is the way that you speak the love within yourself is what starts to pour out of you.
100%. Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
Energy is all interconnected. So
Woo!
raise
That
your
got
energy,
deep.
raise your vibrations, um, stay positive,
Yeah.
rise
It
above,
all matters.
all that stuff.
You matter.
Yeah, you do matter. You matter, Allie.
Hugs, girl. Hugs.
All
All
right.
right. Thank you guys for being here with us today.
Yeah, we really
So good.
appreciate it. And we'll talk to you all next time. Again, we'll put some summaries in the
Oh,
captions and go ahead.
last thing with this, how I talked about the cord cutting on
Oh,
October
yes.
17th. If you are local, one of
October
my girls,
17th, 2025.
yeah, thank you. Thank you for that. One of my girls and I are putting on a cord cutting ceremony, and we'll have some yummy treats there, well, some snacks for some grazing. We're going to also do cold plunge and holding together as a community. And then there's going to be a sauna. It's going to be at my girl's house here in Minneapolis, just so we can come together as a community and as we're all stepping into this new one, releasing what no longer serves us and holding space for the new, but also just being able to be a community and hold ourselves together and just show up as you are and know that all of it matters. So we'll post that link below if you want to come. And we'll have up to 15 people open for that just because it is at her cute little space in Minneapolis. But that way we can be outside together and connect in nature. And then we'll also do some sound bowls and yeah, just some really harmonious time together.
Perfect. Love it. All right. Well, thanks for that. I wish I could be there.
Yeah, I was like, I wish you could come too.
Not too far away.
I'll get to you though in a couple weeks
At
after
some
that.
point. At some point. Okay. All right.
Okay,
Love and
bye.
kisses to you all. Positive vibrations. We'll talk to you again soon.
Bye bye.
Thanks for hanging out with us on Sag Soul Sisters. If you loved this episode, share it with a friend and subscribe so you never miss a moment. Until next time, stay aligned and unstoppable.